Disconnection is a reflection of the value we assign to people and things in our lives. When we look at relationships and how we form connections with people and things in our lives, we often find that we create value based on those connections, whether it's the sentimental attachment you feel for something you worked hard to obtain, or the emotional bonds we form with others. These connections are an integral part of finding happiness. Hi friends, I'm Scott, and I welcome you to be one with me as we journey together to be the best we can. We're talking about disconnection, and it's easy to value something when it's new to us, and the excitement of building a connection with it or with someone often is energizing. But as time passes, the initial newness fades, and we need to work harder to maintain the value of those connections and in those connections. This disconnection can become a problem, and if we're not careful, it can stand in the way of our happiness. We need to recognize that the value we place on people and things directly affects how we treat and care for them. When was the last time you checked in with the people or passions you care about most? Have you taken those connections and for granted, or are you still nurturing them with intention? When we start to feel a disconnection, it's crucial to notice it and make a conscious decision. Either work on rebuilding the connection or let go of it, and maybe let go of it altogether. At times, disconnection can be necessary, as it helps us see the value of the people or the things in our lives. During these moments, we gain clarity and can evaluate whether it's in our best interest to reconnect or to move forward. Are you holding on to something out of habit, or is it still truly serving your growth? That's a good question. Can you identify a connection that in your life where that may need to be released with love? It's essential to maintain good connections with everything and everyone that contributes positively to our lives. If we choose not to work on a relationship or connection, that's one thing. But if we allow the disconnection to persist, it can lead to feelings of neglect or unhappiness, and sometimes for the sake of our own well-being, it may be better to remove certain people or things from our lives. And comfort and complacency can set us up for disappointment, and things are always changing, and each moment is unique. If we stop and making effort to nurture our relationships or improve ourselves, the things around us will begin to deteriorate. And the mentality of if it's not broken, don't fix it, really only sets us up for stagnation. And that stagnation usually leads to negative changes. What have you been putting on autopilot that may need more of your energy and attention? We have to look at our relationships or personal goals, and do they deserve renewal of effort? Knowing that all things change helps us stay present in our connections, valuing people and things for what they are in the moment, not clinging to them in an unhealthy way. But when we let go of attachment and accept the impermanence of life, we free ourselves to focus on the people and things that truly support our happiness now. Letting go doesn't mean erasing the people or things from our lives. We might have to let go of them, completely, but it just simply means shifting the way we relate to them and the emotional bond we may have with them. When something no longer leads us towards true happiness, releasing that emotional attachment gives us the space to form new connections. That's the connections that align with our growth and well-being. We as we continue to explore the importance of connection, we see that change is inevitable. And if we avoid becoming too attached to things, staying the same, or clinging to a particular outcome, we can move through changes without disappointment or suffering. While disappointment and suffering, will always be part of life, they are temporary, and we don't have to attach ourselves to them. Can you think of something you're holding on to simply because it's familiar? What would it feel like to release it and make space for something new? Living without attachment can be challenging at times, but a vital part of living fully. Denying the inevitability of change and holding on to people and things that no longer serve us is not living up to our fullest potential. Small actions, whether positive or negative, add up over time, influencing our relationships and experiences. The way we treat people, things, and situations can either bring us closer to true happiness or move us further from it. If we grow too comfortable and let relationships or possessions define us, we may find ourselves questioning why they no longer bring us the same satisfaction, that they once did. Others may also begin to notice our lack of care and initiative, which can further isolate us or lead to disappointment. You ever found yourself craving new energy in your life but unsure where to start? Could it be the way you've been valuing people or things? That'd be due for a shift. Taking control before things change beyond repair is essential. When we actively nurture our relationships and care for the things we value, we show that we're invested in them. This is not only for strengthening our connection, but it prevents us from becoming passive participants in our lives, expecting people or things to change according to our wishes. By taking responsibility for the changes in our lives, we align our thoughts and actions in a way that fosters positive growth and creates lasting happiness. Whether in your life, where in your life, can you step up and re-engage more consciously? And how might your life change if you consistently nurtured what you claim to care about? Great questions. Subscribe to this channel, like and share this video, and let me know in the comments how you may have let something in your life fall into disrepair from your disconnection to it. Visit beonewithme.com. More is coming from the heart for the soul. Check out one of these videos, and remember, a smile can make someone stay, and the right words may change their life. Be you. Be one with me.